Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Figueroa. Welcome to this video. Today I am going to be going over surface area of cylinders. So if you remember, cylinders are kind of like a can shape. So we're going to be looking at can shaped solids today. Okay. So we're going to be finding the area of the surface, of the surface of the cylinder. Okay. So for concept today, remember surface area is the total area of all the faces and curved surfaces of a three-dimensional figure, okay? So basically we are looking at the total area of the faces and any curved faces of a three-dimensional figure. And then we have this formula here for surface area of a cylinder. This is a general formula for cylinders and for prisms, which you will see that's the third lesson is on prisms. But for today, we're going to be focusing on this S equals 2 pi r h plus 2 pi r squared. This first equation kind of makes sense for something like this. And then maybe the second one, I mean, they work either way. But this is lateral area. So the lateral area is basically the rectangle that you see here, and then the two bases, those would be the two circles. Excuse me. So if you think about the cylinder, if I were to open up the cylinder, like let's say I cut it through here and I unravel it, I'm gonna get the net. So in the net, I end up getting a rectangular shape with the two circles, the two bases. And then if I think about the net, trying to take the formula, my rectangular piece, because I unraveled this part of the circle, that is called the circumference of the circle. So if I open it up, the circumference is 2 pi r. So that's where I got this 2 pi r. And then if you look at the cylinder, the height, that's the distance between the two circles. This ends up being the height, and then I get 2 pi r on this side. So if I think about the rectangle, the area of a rectangle is like your length times width or base times height. So to find the area of the rectangle, I would do 2 pi r, because that would be the width times the length, which is h, which gives me this formula here. 2 pi RH. And then I need to go add my two circles to it. So because I have two circles, and I know that the formula for area of a circle, so I'm put area of a circle is pi r squared. So I have my radius, but because I have two circles, then I take that and then I multiply by 2. So I'm going to take my two circles, and I am going to take 2 times the formula for area of the circle, 2 pi r squared. So that's where I get this piece of the circle. That's using the net. That's kind of how we come up with the formula, okay? But like I said, this L, that stands for lateral area. And lateral area is basically just the sides of the cylinder. So if I were to just take the sides here of the cylinder, that's the lateral area, not including the two bases, okay? And then the full surface area would include the two bases as well, okay? So thinking on that, then you have the surface area formula, and lateral area formula would just be the beginning part, the 2 pi r h. So lateral area is 2 pi r h, and then the full surface area is 2 pi r h plus 2 pi r squared, okay? So let's look at the steps for today. So steps to find surface area of a cylinder using the formula. Key things to know, you're going to need the radius. As if you notice on the formula, we have a radius. So you need to figure out what the radius, sometimes it'll be given to you, sometimes you'll have the diameter, but we can figure out that the radius is half the diameter. And then the height, remember, is going to be the distance between the two circles, okay? In this case, it's circles because we have cylinders, but height is usually the distance between your two bases, okay? And then notice that's pretty much all I need in my formula. So I have pi. Pi is just a function in your calculator. It's just a number. And then 2 is just a number. Squaring it, you basically just square your radius, okay? And then it says to first find the lateral area, 2 pi r h. So remember this formula, you're going to need it. So you need to figure out whether you have a lateral formula or if you are doing the full surface area formula, okay? I don't really like those steps. I kind of just keep basic, like just write your formula. Is it lateral or is it surface area? And then just plug in what you need to do, okay? So let's go look at an example. Make sure you read the directions. In this example, it says to find the surface area of the cylinder, okay? So this time I need my full surface area formula. So I'm going to write it out. My full surface area formula is S is equal to 2 pi times the radius times the height plus 2 pi and then the radius squared. Okay, so I was trying to color coordinate for you guys. So if you look at the picture, I have a 2 here and then I have the 1.25. But if you look at the line is fully drawn. So this tells me that 1.25 is actually the diameter, okay? So to find the radius, I have to take that and divide by 2. So my radius would be 1.25 divided by 2. And I didn't do my calculations ahead of time, so this ends up being 0.625, and then my units is in feet. Okay? And then my height is already there for me. That's the distance between the two circles. So this here is the distance between the two circles. That is my height. So my height is 2 feet. Okay? And then now pretty much all you have to do is go plug in what you have. So my formula again is S is equal to 2 pi. And then my radius is 0.625. And then my height is 2 feet plus 2 pi times the radius squared. So this is a 0.625 squared. And then you just take your handy dandy calculator and then go calculate that. But remember, well, I don't know why I'm saying remember if we haven't gone over this, but you want to wait to do anything with pi. Like leave your pi's until the end because sometimes it's going to ask you for like an exact answer. So your exact answer needs to include pi. And then it'll ask for like an approximate answer, okay? So in your calculator, just do 2 times 0.625 times 2, and you're going to leave pi alone, okay? So 2 times 0.625 times 2, that's going to give you 2.5 pi. I didn't do anything with the pi, so I have to go add it at the end, okay? Then I'm going to do 0.625 squared. And then I'm going to multiply that by 2, and this is going to give me 0.78125. I'm just going to leave it at 0.78 pi. And then notice I have two things that are in common. They both have pi, so I can just go add those together. So 0.78 plus 2.5 is going to give me 3.28 pi. And then this is an area, so area is units squared. My units is feet squared. So this would be your exact answer. And then to find the approximate answer, you just take your 3.28 and then you're going to multiply by pi in your calculator. And that's going to give you an approximate answer of 10.31. It doesn't say what to round to. So you can leave it as 10.3, 10.31. But make sure you include the units squared. Okay, so this one is your approximate answer. And then the 3.28 pi feet squared is the exact answer, okay? So usually it's going to ask you for two answers. It'll say find the exact and the approximate. If it doesn't ask for the exact, then you can go straight to just do 10.31 would be your final answer, okay? So let's look at another example. Again, this one, read the directions. It says find the surface area, meaning the full cylinder, okay? Again, if you look at the picture, this time I'm only given half of the diameter, so that is already the radius. So my radius is 3 centimeters, and then for the height, that's the number that's the distance between the two circles. So my height in this example is 9. And then again, my formula for surface area is S is equal to 2 pi RH plus 2 pi R squared. And then you just go plug everything in and use your calculator. So this is S is equal to 2 pi. Radius is 3. Sorry, I forgot to change color. So I have 2 pi times 3 centimeters times my height is 9 plus 2 pi and my radius is 3. So this is 3 squared, okay? And again, you want to first calculate this without the pi. So leave pi alone. So we're going to do 3 times 9 times 2. Or 2 times 3 times 9. Excuse me. And then don't forget, you're not going to do anything with the pi. So this is going to give you 54 pi plus. And then here, remember, order of operations. You have to do the squared first before you multiply. So 3 squared gives you 9, and then 9 times 2, that's 18 pi. And then if you just go add those, that's going to give you 72 pi. And then my units are centimeters squared. And then the approximate answer, just take 72 times pi. That'll give you about 226.19 centimeters squared, or you can say that's 226.2 centimeters squared. Okay, so remember the one with pi, that's the that's the exact answer, and then the one without the pi, that's your approximate solution. Okay, so let's look now at the last few examples, and we're going to go over lateral area. So lateral area, in this example, it says lateral area. So remember, that's just the beginning part of your surface area formula. So I'm going to use L is equal to 2 pi RH without the plus 2 pi r squared, because it's asking for lateral area. So what this is asking for you to do is calculate the area without those two circles. So you're only calculating the sides of the cylinder. So if you think about, like, if you have like a can and you're putting a label around the can, you're finding how much like paper you need for the label. Okay, so notice I am given my radius here because I have half the line, so that's my radius is 2, and then my height is the distance between the two circles, so that's 14.4. So all you do is go plug it in. So I have L is equal to 2 pi times my radius is 2 times the height is 14.4, and then I'm just gonna go use my calculator to get my exact answer without the pi. So I'm just going to multiply the numbers together. So 2 times 2 times 14.4 is going to give you 57.6 pi. So I didn't multiply the pi, so it's just 57.6 pi inches squared. That's the exact answer. And then your approximate answer, just take that times pi. And that's going to give you approximately 180.96. And then this is inches. squared. Again, it doesn't say what to round to, but if this had asked for the nearest tenth, then this would have to round up to 181. If it asks for the nearest whole number, that's also 181. So just kind of, the more decimal places you have, the more accurate your answer is. But if it doesn't ask you to round to a specific thing, you're safe with like either the 10th place or the 100th place. Okay. All right. Very last example, and then we'll be done. Was that the last example? I guess that was the last example. Did I skip? Oops, I skipped this one. Okay. So I'm gonna go back to the previous one. I accidentally skipped over this one somehow. So in this example, if you notice, I am given the full line. So again, remember, if it's the full line, that means this is the diameter. So to find the radius, just divide by 2. So my radius is going to be 2.5 inches. And then my height is the distance between them. So this is 2 inches. And again, it's asking for lateral area, so just plug it into your formula for lateral area. That's just the beginning of the surface area before the plus. So this is going to be 2 pi RH. And then just plug everything in. So I have L is equal to 2 times pi times my radius is 2.5 times my height is 2. Okay. So my lateral area, you just multiply the numbers together. So 2 times 2.5, that's going to give me 5. 5 times 2 gives you 10 pi. And then just use your, sorry, I forgot my units. This is inches squared for my exact answer. And then my approximate answer, just take 10 times pi. And that's going to give you 31.4 inches squared. Okay, but that's pretty much it. So we went over full surface area and just lateral area. So make sure you read the directions if it's asking for lateral versus surface area. Okay, all right, see you next time.